Hey, y'all. What's today, Monday? Happy Monday, y'all. Welcome in the building. I'm glad to see you here. Thanks for stopping by and spending time with the diva. Much appreciated. Thanks for coming on through. Listen, people, we got stuff to talk about. And I say labeled it simple. It's called crazy. Crazy. Got stuff to talk about. It's called crazy. You know, there's this, I don't understand. Well, let me see. How am I going to talk about this? Let me see how I'm going to phrase this, because I want to be sensitive to the people, because I know sometimes y'all get a little sensitive here. So I try to be sensitive and mindful of the words that I use. But what I don't understand is, listen, when you have a child and you and that child's father are no longer together, and you get with somebody else, and your child is under the age of 18, I'm not saying that, you didn't work out with the first person, you should never date. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, watch who you let around your child. So we have this mother, her and the boyfriend moved in together. It's very unclear whether the boyfriend was the father of this child, but I'm going to say no, he was not. So they move in together. She, in hand, according to the neighbors, was arguing all the time. They was arguing. And then, she leaves him to babysit her 1-year-old. So let me just say this for the people in the back, the front, and the middle. If the man don't like you, there's a 99.9% chance that he don't like your kid. So why would you leave your child in the hands of somebody that don't even like you? If I did date someone and my kid was little and I had somewhere to go, little mama, little man is coming with me. If you always arguing with me, being up in my face and threatening me, there's no way on the face of this earth I will leave my kid with you. She left her kid with him. Kid was crying. And I don't understand these adults that are straight up boxing out kids like they're an adult. He knocked up a little 1-year-old upside the head several times, to the point where when she got into the hospital, they had to remove part of her skull to relieve all the pressure. Well, little mama didn't make it. She's gone. Because that monster who's 19 beat her up. I don't get it. I don't get it. And if you have a need to have sex with somebody that bad, you meet the people. I don't care if y'all have sex in the street. Don't do it in front of your kids, and don't move them in your house. Now your kid is gone. Why? It's crazy. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about Tyreek Hill and this estranged wife. They was married 17 months, had a baby. But before she married him, there was a track record. There was a blueprint. There was a resume. And she darn sure could have got some references. I will never understand a female, or anybody for that matter, who your previous partner got 10 babies and 10 baby mamas. Or maybe it's 6 or 7 baby mamas. Did you not do those little problems that they did in school? where they say, if this happened and that happened and that happened, what do you think the next likely outcome would be? If he got 8 baby mothers, and listen, Diva was never at the top of nobody's class. You know how they said the top 10 graduating people? I wasn't in the top 10. I was in the graduating class. I wasn't in the top 10. Don't even think I was in the top 50. But I can do simple math. If he got 8 baby mamas, I'm not clairvoyant. I can predict my future. I'm probably going to be baby mother number 9, and I'll take a pass on that. If he put his hands on the last 3, 4, 5 girlfriends, I don't need nobody to talk to me. I could take a wild guess that he probably gonna put his hands on me. If he didn't pay child support to the last 5 baby mothers, if I get pregnant and have his baby, a wild guess will be he probably ain't gonna pay child support to me either. You a fool if you sign up for that nonsense. This Tyreek Hill, he had baby mamas and babies on the way when she was engaged to him. There were people that were warning her, and everybody, oh, they hate, and we in love. People warned her before she walked down the aisle. Now she trying to tell us 2 months into the marriage, she was getting a beat down. She want us to do what with that? She want us to give his whole salary to her now for something that she walked into. Her mother knew that she was getting beat down. And this is me. I highly doubt that he waited till y'all said I do to start beating you down. It's crazy, but we're going to talk about it. Then we got Paula Deen. You know, this world is crazy. Today at 5 o'clock, you could be on the top of the world. Everybody loves you. You got tons of Instagram followers, TikTok followers, YouTube followers. You raking in the cash. You on the Food Network, HGTV, whatever. You just rolling in the dough. And in the blink of an eye, you canceled. Paula Deen was at the top of the world. She was on the Food Network, cooking all this food with butter, Crisco, sugar. She's cooking it up. She had cookbooks, all kind of stuff going on. And in the blink of an eye, because they said she said a racial slur, she was canceled. She lost deals. They kicked off the Food Network, and everything went left. Well, now there's a documentary out with Paula Deen talking about what happened in the downfall and why she got canceled. Listen, the crazy part to me is that the world is okay with everybody as long as what they're doing is hidden underneath the rocks. But when it comes out in the open, then everybody's like, oh my God, they're outraged and they want you canceled. But it depends on who you are, whether they're going to cancel you or not. Because certain people, they could do the most and they will never, ever get canceled. And then other people, if they breathe the wrong way, they're canceled. We're going to talk about it. Because they knew all along. They sure did. They knew all along who she was. But when it come out, we got to address it now. And we're going to say it's not tolerated. And we're going to cancel you. Listen, people, y'all know what time it is, okay? I need to bring the people on in the building. I done talked enough. What time it is? It's time to bring the people on in the building. I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Crazy. We got the infant tragedy, 1-year-old gone too soon. We got Tyreek Hill. Okay, the ex-wife, well, estranged wife. I don't think the divorce is final yet. She's saying he was putting his hands on her. And we got Paula Deen. And I will say this about Takara Thompson. We did that on my channel last night, trending topics. There's more information about that situation. And maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. A lot of the information I had suspected is very sad, but more information is out. I'll say that more information is out, and we'll probably address it tomorrow. The cheerleader from the University of Kentucky, a little bit more information is out with that too. They got pictures, and in the pictures, you look at it, and you could tell she was pregnant. And now they want the boyfriend. They got the boyfriend DNA. I don't know where the road they're going down with this, but there's more information. Let me bring the people in the building so we can have a chat. Hey, Julius. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Savannah.
Hey, y'all. Hit the like button.
Hey, Callie.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Katrina. Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's get into this infant story. It's very sad, and I think that the message I want to give to people today in the chat, or anybody that watches this video in the future, if you're a single mom, listen. Oh, no, Amy J, the 19-year-old was not pregnant. I was talking about the cheerleader from the University of Kentucky that was pregnant. You know, if you're watching this video and you're a single mother, it ain't an easy path to walk. It's not. Listen, I've been there, done that. But I promise you this, 18 years, it goes by like a blink of an eye. Don't have perfect strangers in your child's face, especially before you even know if they really like you. Now, let me go ahead so we can get into this story.
Baby girl is after police say she was punched multiple times in the head. Now a 19-year-old man is charged with assault and endangerment. News 12's Tim Harfman is in the alert center now with what we know so far. Tim.
Well, Nadia, we went to the Melrose apartment today to talk to the child's family, but greeted with this note on the door saying that the tenant, quote, took weeks away for a while, so I will not be home. And this comes while investigators were on scene this afternoon carrying evidence bags from the apartment building. Now, police say officers responded to Union Avenue for a 911 call Thursday night and found a 1-year-old baby girl who was punched repeatedly in the face and head. The child was taken to Harlem Hospital in critical but stable condition. Police arrested and charged 19-year-old Jerome Thomas with 2 counts of assault and endangering the welfare of a child. Right now, it's unclear what the relationship is between Thomas and the infant. Neighbors tell us they constantly hear a man and woman fighting inside of the apartment.
I saw the commotion on Thursday, but I didn't know the details, until today when I saw the cops and everyone. That's sad. I mean, it's a 1-year-old innocent baby.
I have kids, so it's like, it sucks. There's no sounds of like altercation, violence, or anything coming from under that night. And I was here and I was awake.
Now, right now, we do not have information about the child's mother. We are working to learn more details. Stay with us for the very latest. In the Alert Center, Tim Harfman, News 12 The Bronx.
Well, hold on one second. The charges are being upgraded because the little girl, she ended up losing her life. So New York City infant, hold on one second. Okay. New York City infant dead after mom's boyfriend allegedly bashed her skull during assaults, cop said. A Bronx infant has tragically died about a week after her mother's boyfriend allegedly beat her so badly the doctors needed to remove a portion of her skull. Imani Mitchell, one, was rushed to Harlem Hospital in critical condition after Jerome Thomas, who was watching her the evening of August 28th, allegedly struck the child twice on the side of the head with a heavy hand, causing her to cry, according to cops and prosecutors. The helpless infant suffered extensive subdural hemorrhaging on the right side of her head, resulting in swelling and intracranial pressure, causing her brain herniation, and had to have surgery to remove a piece of her skull, the criminal complaint revealed. Look at the precious baby. Absolutely gorgeous. Imani was placed on a ventilator and other life support measures, but ultimately doctors were unable to save her. The toddler was pronounced dead at the hospital Friday, and her death ruled a homicide, according to the NYPD. That's her and her mom. Thomas, 19, was initially arrested on August 29th and charged with felony assault, reckless endangerment, and endangering the welfare of a child, according to court documents. The teen has since been ordered held without bail on Rikers Island, and as his charges may now be upgraded pending a grand jury indictment, law enforcement sources said. The fatal beating happened around 9:30 p.m. inside the apartment on Union Avenue near East 152nd Street and in the Woodstock neighborhood, after Imani's mother left her in Thomas' care, according to the complaint. He is next scheduled to appear in court September 18th, the DA's office said. Neighbor Nicole LaCroix previously told the Post the couple and the little girl were new to the building. I spent a little time with the mother and I guess the boyfriend one night, just because they were new to the area. And we were just showing them where some of the stores are and different things like that, said LaCroix, who recalls spending time with the infant, being helpful as a neighbor because I'm a little older than the young lady. I held the baby, because we spent a little time with each other. She was playing with my phone. She was an active 1-year-old. LaCroix said her daughter heard arguments coming from the trio's apartment, and she wished she would have stepped in and helped. They fight every night. I heard them argue every night since they moved here. FUB and get the F out, she said. Several times she put his clothes out, but they be back together the same day. Super sad. Julius, your thoughts?
My condolences on the loss of that little baby.
Mm-hmm.
But consequences need to come down hard. And I want to speak to both the men and the women, because men can receive DV as well. If someone is laying their hands on you as a way to control you, to strip you of your essence, to diminish you, just know there is power in walking away. There is power in saying enough. Because when you don't walk away, instances like this happen. And now for this young lady, her daughter is gone. All because she didn't see her purpose. She didn't see her worth. So to the fellas and the ladies who feel like they are not enough, you are enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to walk away.
I appreciate you, Julius. Yes, and that's a good message. You are enough. Wayne, your thoughts?
This is kind of hard because it's almost like kids raising kids. you know, and with, their couple, so-called whatever, young, which I think too young to be having a kid for them if you're not ready. But they're probably on the same page. The lady said she would hear them arguing. They're going back and forth, both of them. It's not like one-sided. They're both going back and forth. And he took out what he felt about his girlfriend on the child. Because they usually go after things that you love. He knew that, he couldn't unalive her. She may have been, I won't say a match for him, but I don't think it would be a case where, oh, he hit me in my head, No, it would be I think they both would have been, been fighting. So I think that he felt the next best thing, oh, I'm gonna get her. She loves that baby. And took his frustration out on that baby. And the thing of it is that he may get 20 years. I've seen people get, you see people get less. But even after whatever sentence he serves or whatever, if he doesn't get some therapy, if something doesn't change, he's gonna be back on the street, the same thing. He may do it to the wrong person and somebody unalive him. But if he doesn't get wherever he's going, jail or whatever, I'm not saying he's crazy and need to be put in a mental institution, but he's going to need a whole lot of therapy because this boy's going to be back on the streets. He's not going to be at 19 years old serving life without the possibility of parole. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be back on the street. I'm just saying that if he pays this debt to society, I hope he got some good therapy so he can be, if he's released back into the public, he's a different person. That's all you can hope for. I mean, normally some adult, some mean, angry, just vicious person, an adult, I would probably be saying, hey, lock him up, throw away the key. But when you take your feelings out of it, this boy is not going to do life in jail for taking a life. So we just have to make sure that when he's put back on the street, that he's a different person. That's it.
Katrina, your thoughts?
Okay. My name would be inmate 555-307. Cause if you ain't took my baby life, yours gonna be taken. And yes, I do the time. I do the time. You have taken my child. You still living and breathing and walking around, and this baby couldn't defend herself. She's 1 year old, and you hitting her in the head. I would be in the. He would be in the dirt, but I'll be in the jail. Now I can come out and probably do a little time because it could be for temporary insanity. But hobby darn, if you finna walk around and my child is not on this earth, the best thing for you to do is stay in prison if I can't get to you. And first of all, I will be making a phone call to the prison staff to let them know, put him in the damn population so he can get exactly what he did to my child. Ain't no thing about me not having sympathy, but you keep messing with the children, and y'all know how I feel about children. Y'all, you get me. You know, I talk to you. It irritates the hell out of me for somebody to do this to a child, and you living and breathing still. So I need to be making a phone call to this prison to where you was at. So I know just if I can't get the justice for myself, I know they'll get the justice for me in there. That's ridiculous and sad that this baby is gone because this is, he young, but a young person know when something is right and wrong. A baby know when something's right and wrong. You tell a baby that the iron is hot, they don't listen. If you touch it, they don't do it again because they found out that iron is hot. So he's 19 years old. Yeah, you young. I was young too. But yet still, I wasn't finna go upside my baby head or my kid's head. And I was frustrated, military wise, whatever. But I'm not finna hurt my children. And you damn sure ain't finna hurt my child. So yeah, my new name would be Taylor inmate 3337-07. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
Of course, this is sad. This was an obviously violent person. And my opinion of these sorts of things is that there is some sort of lack of understanding that's happening.
You breaking up, Callie.
If somebody is violent, you can't have a relationship in your life until catastrophe happens. That's all you're doing. If somebody has become violent with you, there is no relationship to have with that person. There is no reason to keep fighting with this person, going backwards and forth to this person. This might be an interesting time because this time it was a small child, but even in my own personal life, I have seen family members or bystanders get hurt because somebody doesn't know how to get out of an abusive relationship. And it's not always that they're afraid to leave. They want to be in that relationship. And the only thing is something like this is going to happen. It might
Callie, you're breaking up. Is it me, everybody? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, she's breaking up a
family
little.
She's breaking up.
Yes, I'm gonna go to jail. There's something
Everybody
cognitive.
good?
Am I?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yeah, there's really?
Yeah.
Okay, you good now. You good now.
Is it better? Okay. Yeah, it's something for me, it's people like that. It's something cognitive going on with them where they cannot comprehend that even if I don't care about this baby, I don't want to go to jail. There's some level of comprehension that is not there with this type of a person. And the only thing you can do is get away from this person. This is horrible. Of course, he's responsible for his actions, but I just feel like something overall weird is going on in society where people are not able to comprehend consequences and not able to comprehend how to break up with people and get away from people. Because this just seems like this is an ongoing thing that's happening all the time. I don't know. But I hope he doesn't get out. I hope he gets life with no parole. I really, truly do. Depending on the law in that state is possible. So hopefully we won't ever have to deal with him in society again. Because who hits a small child? I'm not the most patient person. It would never occur to me to hit a child. So something is going on with you in general where you think you can hit a child. That in of itself is problematic. That idea even entered your mind. So
that part to the point where their skull had to be removed. And poor thing, he beat this girl down.
Yeah.
Her skull had to be removed to relieve the pressure. And then she still didn't survive.
And I don't think this was some calculated thing where, oh, I'm going to take this baby away because she loves this baby. No, I just think this is a person that does not understand self-control and does not understand consequences. They're not capable. I don't know if it is something environmental going on, like as far as lead being in things and things like that are making people slow. If it's some type of autism that hasn't been diagnosed yet. But there is something that is happening where people, especially, they're just not able to understand consequences, that their actions have a result. Like there's something happening where they're not understanding that. Because even if you did not care about this kid, you shouldn't want to go to jail. I don't know. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
My problem is that this is still a baby. That this is an infant, barely walking and able to ask for just basic necessities. And women, regardless of their age, they can be young, they can be old, they stay in toxic relationships for many different reasons. And so we can't really sit here and pass judgment of why she didn't leave, and what it takes a mother to love and put the priority of the safety of their children first before your own needs of having and wanting a man by your side. And I don't know why they keeping the mother identity and a secret. I think she's part of this story, since they were saying that they've been the neighbors have been hearing them fuss and fight for quite some time. So she was probably giving it as good as she got. But overall, you're still a mother and you should have protected your baby. I agree. I think there is something going on. There's a sense of evil, and because as a grown 19-year-old, and here I like how the media, again, he's a 19-year-old man, but the 21-year-old in Kentucky is a cheerleader and a student. But they didn't classify her as an adult in any of the stories. But here we have a 19-year-old man who probably lacks emotional intelligence or self-awareness or can't control his anger, and decides to beat up on a defenseless child. That's pure evil. That's hate. I don't care for this baby's skull to have to be removed. That was repeated blows, just like the baby in Georgia with the daycare. Those were repeated blows. So at one point you had to step back and say, what am I doing? And his justice is going to come when he's in jail. Because they don't, everything that I know, I've never spent a day in jail, never had handcuffs on my wrist, but everything I've heard is when it comes to the maltreatment of children, they take care of you on the inside. They have their own justice system in there. So this young man, even if he gets 20 years and comes out when he's 40, 50 years old, he's going to be damaged. He's going to go through some things in that prison system where they're going to alter and change his life forever, more than this incident. I just, and again, a village has failed a baby, because where's the grandmother? Where's the aunties? And even the mother from this young boy, the man, the 19-year-old that struck the baby, where's the mother to them? So there's a village here. We have a problem where we're failing our babies. We really are.
I wholeheartedly agree. I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next story. And this Tyreek Hill, the football player. Listen, the signs were on the wall, but and this goes into what you're saying, Savannah. When did it become that money trumps everything? You don't care about yourself, your own life, the life of your kids. As long as you live in a certain lifestyle and have access to certain money, you're good. When did that happen? That's why, you know what, I be dead serious over here when I say, if you can afford only a studio apartment and it is yours and you don't have to go to nobody to get money, you're good. This is crazy. So Tyreek Hill X alleges multiple DV incidents in new court filing. So Katita, is that her name? Keita, whatever. Tyreek Hill's estranged wife is now alleging the NFL superstar roughed her up on multiple occasions during their 17-month marriage. And I'm here to tell you that he had to have roughed you up before you even said I do. The Dolphins' wide-out ex made allegations in a new court filing in her divorce case against the football player, claiming Hill began to get violent with her in early January 2024, just 2 months after they got married in Austin, Texas. So 2 months after you got married, that's the first time he put his hands on you? She says the two were at their guest house in Southwest Ranches, Florida, when Hill went off on her during a conversation about a post-nuptial agreement. She says he shoved her to the floor, stood over her, and then ripped off her necklace, causing a cut and a bruise. 2 weeks later, in late January 2024, she claims Hill got mad at her while the two were at an Orlando, Florida hotel. Hill, she wrote in the documents, violently attacked her, throwing her to the floor, twisting her intimate body parts, ripping her hair out, and grabbing anything on her person he could get a hold of. On February 7, 2024, she alleges Hill attacked her again as they was getting ready to leave for the Pro Bowl. Hill shoved a marijuana cigarette in her face, she claimed in the docs, and told her to get her suitcase and get out of the house. Hill then threw her suitcase out the door and threw her out the door, locking it behind her. In total, she says there were 8 instances of DV, including one where she says Hill spat on her and others where she claims he got physical with her while she was pregnant. Hill conduct was extreme, she wrote in the docs, outrageous, beyond all bounds of decency, and is regarded as atrocious and utterly intolerable in a civilized community. We reached out to Hill's attorney for a comment on the allegations, though so far we have yet to hear back. Meanwhile, her lawyer, Evan R. Marks, told us Monday, I have no comment at this time. Hill in Querita dated for several years before getting married in 2023, and they officially separated on April 7, 2025, after a domestic dispute at their Miami area home. Hill played in Miami season opening loss to the Colts on Sunday, logging 40 yards on his 4 catches. Listen, you know what this problem has? This society has a problem with too. Whether you are an NFL player, an NBA player, or in the entertainment industry, if you are making the right person money, all your dirty deeds will get swept under the rug. Julius, your thoughts?
Well, like the saying goes, money talks, BS walks. If you a star athlete, you doing dirt, your troubles will be buried. And how many times have we seen that happen? Tons. I don't need to say more.
Thank you, Julius. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, whatever she gets, bravo. Bravo. I hope she walk with a nice chunk of change for the stupidity. If this is how you want to do with your money and you want to give it away like that, then let them line up. Let them line up. You know, what did he think? If he was going to be knocking on this woman, that she wasn't going to be some repercussions. You know, I don't know if he, you know, because of their age, they're young or whatever, but they coming after your bag. And if you want to keep your bag open like that, then so be it. You're going to be left not holding the bag, but everybody else is going to be holding your bag. Because anybody you get in with and you do the same thing again, they're going to do the same thing. You're just going to be shucking out money. Because some of them will take a black eye for a few $1 million. Black eyes don't last for long.
Good gosh.
Knocks upside your head don't last too long. And you walking with $1 million, You ain't even shameful. Look at what's the dude named Ocho and which come the one that just got all that money from Shannon Sharp.
Mm.
Do you think she's humiliated from that tape? All the stuff, the stuff that happened. I mean, what she did. You think she's humiliated? No. She got several $1 million in the bank. That's gonna make her feel real good about her humiliation. So if this is what y'all want to do, line these women up so they can take y'all money, go for it. I'm done.
Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm with Wayne. I mean, girl, you knew exactly what you was getting into. You and your mama both. Because if you didn't want that abuse, you when he was beating on you while you was pregnant, could have caused you to have an unalived child, and you still stayed there, you and your mama. They knew they had a mark, and they made sure that baby was delivered so that can be child support. And then I think she's gonna get alimony or whatsoever. And they just stupid. They be on the field getting knocked around like a whole bunch of cattle. And then when you can't do anything anymore, the big people put you out the pasture. So if you there doing all this, getting your body banged up and everything like that, and these women come take your money, they need to take your money. Maybe they knock the Mario coins out his head, or her, because she ain't too bright herself, but she know how to play the game because see her mama is there telling her how to play the game. And watch how much money she get from him. And that's exactly what they deserve, because you don't put your hands on women. You don't do that anyway. You're already aggressive on the football field. Why you coming home and be aggressive with me? Especially when I just had your child. So therefore, if you don't love the mother, how you loving the child? This is ridiculous. And yes, they need to take all his money. That's all I got.
Woo, Callie, your thoughts?
Agreed. I mean, if he's silly enough to not understand that he cannot put his hands on women, clean them out, lock them up, whatever. I'm so over hearing about this DV stuff, and I think that we have gotten to some type of place in society where there's no expectation of a man or a person in general to be an upstanding person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just no expectation that you be a good person, you treat people well, you're nice to people. Yeah, he needs to, honestly, he should be in jail. But the reason why a lot of times these men don't go to jail because these women act like it's a game and they keep going backwards and forwards so much that there is no case to put them in jail. But yeah, I mean, whatever she get is whatever she get. He must have wanted to give it away to her, because I don't understand this mindset of believing that women are going to stay there and be mistreated. No, they're not, especially if you have money. They're going to put up with it long enough so they can sue you, and then they're going to leave and go live their life with your money. I mean, nobody is going to sit there and be a victim. And I don't understand where this mindset is coming from, because I hear a lot of this stuff going on in the manosphere, thinking that for some reason in 2025 that there is a reason why a woman would just sit there and just be abused or be a victim. Either she has some severe like psychological issues, or she's running a play. And if she got psychological issues, you're gonna have to deal with some psychological issues. And if she running a play, you're gonna have to pay. There's no other explanation. So I don't know. This is nuts. Something's wrong with him. Maybe he got brain damage. I don't know. But it is what it is.
Thank you, Savannah. Your thoughts?
So there's no dispute on who Tyreek Hill is and his history with DVing women, whether they're his wife, girlfriends, baby mama, or people that have come to visit him at the home. There's that we all know the stories about Tyreek and his failure to pay child support, his run-ins with the law. It's constant trades from multiple teams across the NFL. He has a clear nasty attitude. Great player, but Tyreek is very, very problematic. My issue is with these women, because the only reason she's going through this now is because he has a um new BBL model, what Instagram model that he's been flaunting around while
Mm,
he's married, getting some of the perks that should be coming to her. That's the only reason why she's filing for divorce, and constantly putting their business out. Because you're right, Tiva, the signs have been there. They've been on social media. People have told her before. The signs there's even billboards on I-95 on South Beach. So she's seen all the signs. But but because she wants to continue to live a certain lifestyle, be able to sit in the front, in the press box, in the sky boxes, in the football games, because when they had that incident last year, where they were tugging at each other, and their child was in the middle of them. The cops had made a statement that she was bruised, but she claims it was them pulling at the baby, and that
mm,
she must have got bruised then. So she has covered many times, many black eyes, many bruises, but that gets her a Range Rover. That, mom has brought her back to the home after a DV situation. So I'm not feeling any sympathy for her whatsoever, because she continues to put herself in this situation. She was warned by many people before, while she was the girlfriend. And yes, she was, there was a domestic issue when she was girlfriend, because he was messing with some other chick.
mm,
So this isn't nothing new. This is just, he's got a new BBL model that he's been flaunting around, and is now in the skybox, and she's upset, and she's trying to get him for whatever she can. Tyreek ain't got that much money. He's got 8 kids that he pays for. He lives this fast lifestyle that is, I mean, if you recall his car, that where he got stopped on game 1 in front of the stadium. Tyreek that's who he is. He throws money, um, always in the strip clubs. I mean, he's on South Beach, so that's what can you expect?
mm.
I'm not feeling any type of child support is all she should get, and good luck getting that one, because at least 4 of the other baby mamas aren't getting any child support from Tyreek. So
Wow. Whoo, child, listen. We're gonna go ahead and roll into this last story. Paula Deen, and I did watch Paula Deen like growing up. I love the cooking shows for some reason. Watch Paula Deen, but she had her downfall. She crashed and she burned. Okay, but now there's a documentary about her. So let's get into it. So Paula Deen says her new documentary Canceled tells the truth about her racism controversy. The controversial television personality talked to people at the Toronto International Film Festival as her documentary made its debut. That's what she looks like now. Paula Deen is addressing why she decided to share her story in a new documentary, which premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival. I'm looking for the truth, Dean 78 said at the People, EW, and Shutterstock studio. The truth. If you watch the film, you will find it out. Canceled, the Paula Deen story, which debuted September 6th, comes more than a decade after the scandal that shattered the culinary star multi-million-dollar empire. The film, directed by Billy Coben, chronicles the controversial television personality's journey from the catering business she started in her kitchen with $200 to her 11-year run on the Food Network, which ended when she was fired in 2013 as a result of her admission to using a racial slur in a sworn deposition. The deposition was part of a lawsuit filed by Lisa Jackson, a former manager of one of Paula's restaurants, Uncle Bubba's Seafood and Oyster House. Jackson accused Dean's brother, Bubba Ayers, who ran the restaurant, of SH and using racial offensive language. A federal judge in Georgia dismissed the lawsuit after a settlement was reached, but the controversy caused Dean numerous business deals. Jackson issued a statement following the settlement. The Paula Deen I have known for more than 8 years is a woman of compassion and kindness and will never tolerate discrimination or racism of any kind towards anyone, the statement read in part. And that's Bobby Deen, Paula Deen, and Jamie Deen at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 7th. In the documentary, Deen mentions that when she admitted to having used the racial slur, she was referring to the aftermath of a 1987 incident when she was held at gunpoint while working at a bank. I thought Billy did a great job of telling the whole story and putting it together, Deen says. It was very understandable. Asked what she learned about race and racism in the United States during a controversy, Dean replied, I think I was very gullible because the different races that were intertwined in our life. I was surprised. Paula's two sons, Jamie 58 and Bobby 55, appeared throughout the film, but they had differing opinions into the project. I was the most skeptical of all about us doing the documentary, and I purposely not seen the film, Bobby said Sunday. I wanted to see it here in Toronto, in this environment. So I'm sort of reserving my judgment. I still don't know how I feel about it. I'm excited for the film, but still nervous about it. I'm most excited for my mom, said Jamie, who was more enthusiastic about participating in the documentary. She wants to be able to speak for herself, and she should be able to. She earned that. And the reason why she's doing it is to receive something, and I hope that she gets it. Jamie added that he's a huge admirer of Coben's work. It's really such a treat for me to get to see him work and be part of it, he says. It's just unbelievable. So my viewpoint on this film is that if the filmmaker and my mother are happy, it's just another blessing in a long line of blessings. Listen, I do believe too at some point, I think we when we cancel, we want to cancel someone forever. I'm into redemption. I'm into forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't look the same for everybody. But I really don't like this cancel situation. But Julius, let me know your thoughts.
I'm gonna be honest. I love me some Paula Deen. I loved her cooking shows and her energy. It was bubbly. It was like a fresher. She's like, "Oh, y'all, we gonna make some peach cobbler today. We gonna add some, because not everybody, case in point, was putting seasoning in their food on TV. I'm just saying." Then the controversy came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to admit, in 2013, I was a 20-year-old child. Compared to now, if she has shown redemption for using that word,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say word, because you know what? Even I shouldn't be using that word, or people around me shouldn't be, but we do. The education needs to be out for that, especially in the African American community.
Mm-hmm.
The history of that word and how it was described as us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to get all butthurt and offended when it's said by other people, but we say it. We can't have it both ways out of our mouth. We gotta talk about the history of that word. and where it comes from and why it shouldn't be said by all walks of life, not just by a certain pack, all. If she has shown redemption, everything else, I ain't got no issue. She don't pay my bills. And I ain't even met the lady before, so it don't matter to me.
Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I always say when people show you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she hasn't shown me anything.
Mm.
I mean, I never really watched her. I knew who she was,
Mm-hmm.
and I think y'all probably be surprised at some of y'all white friends of what they may have said. They just ain't said it to you.
Mm-hmm.
This woman almost 80 years old. It wouldn't surprise me what a lot of 80-year-old white people said or may have said back then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it was right. You know, I don't. Usually when people are like that, they continue to be like that. Look who's in office. He was back like that in the 80s with black people. And he's constantly doing things that you know he's not for black people. For all of them, he's a racist. Okay? I have never seen that from Paula Deen. I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she ain't. I just haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't, in this case for me, I wouldn't be willing to say, oh, she said that, so I'm not going to, I think she's a racist. I'm not going to watch her no more. I'd have to see or have to know a little bit more about someone to come to those kind of conclusions and tear them down. So no, I'm not. I'm not one for a counsel like that. I mean, like I said, she could be a full blown R. But I haven't seen that, and even the information they brought out about her doesn't seem like it was that she went out her way doing this and using that kind of language towards black people. So I can't see why she's canceled, because look at it. The only time we knew anything about her saying even about any racism is when that came out, and that was years ago, and she confronted it. So am I a judge to think, oh yeah, once a R, always a R? So no, I don't. I don't see any. Why she should be canceled. That's it.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
Y'all must forgot Paula Deen is in the South. That word resonates in the South. And when we took that word, we did it as to turn it around from meaning the bad word that it meant to some type of endearment with it. But we never say the R on the end of the word. It always the GA. Yeah, she got canceled. Her little cookware got put out of Walmart. Whatever the other stuff that she was doing, all that butter. Um, she was on the cooking show, and yeah, she said the word. You have a lot of them say that word. Mark Wahlberg said it. He admitted to saying it, but he hasn't been counted, so he's a celebrity, A+ a celebrity. Um, the word that they use, as in for black people, it's ridiculous. It's inhumane. I mean, because that's saying the person is that's not intelligent, don't know what's going on, or anything like that. So they've been saying that word from the beginning. They ain't gonna stop saying it. They might not say it around you, but I'm quite sure they say it around their friends. And I'm not saying that she's racist or anything like that. I'm just saying you just have to be prepared of what they're gonna say, because, as I said before, she's from the South, and they've been saying this word around here forever. So, it's to each his own. If they want to go buy her cooking pots or they want to see her documentary, that's on them. But I don't care for it. I ain't saying that, that I'm canceling or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm not going to watch it. And that can be it. I'm not having no hard feelings towards her. I'm not doing it, but I'm just not going to show her no support. And I'm sorry, y'all, but that's just the way I feel. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm cool on this lady. However, I will say, if this woman had a Spanish accent instead of a Southern drawl, she would be right there still selling Black American food like it was her own and making money. Cardi B does worse than this on a daily basis. Jennifer Lopez has said worse than this. So we do pick and choose. We didn't like the fact that this was a lady with a Southern drawl saying it. And it was only one particular group of what is now considered to be Black people that were called the N-word. And I know this because if anyone has ever seen the clip of Muhammad Ali going to a place during Jim Crow and seeing that Black people were being let in, and he goes to go in, and they say, no, we don't let N-words in here. And he said, well, what about these other people? Oh, they're Africans. They're not N-words. So we have played too many games with this word.
I'm going to talk to the people.
Yeah, we do not all use the N-word. I don't use the N-word unless I'm reading or quoting something or talking about something historical where that word is part of what I'm talking about. I don't just go around just using the N-word. So even this whole notion that all Black people use the N-word, that is not true. I don't go around using the N-word. I don't even really fool with a lot of people that just go around flippantly saying the N-word like that. But I will say that the only reason why this woman had the consequence that she had is because of the stereotype of an older woman being from the South. If this, like I said, if this woman had a Spanish accent, looked exactly the same, said it exactly the same way, and was cooking the same food, this woman would still be on TV cooking that Black American food, and no one would care what she said. So, I mean, I'm not cool with nobody saying it. I was surprised to see anyone serve a consequence, but when I was in Tennessee a few years ago, there was still a Paula Deen restaurant. She might not own it. They might just be, she probably signed her name away. And I don't even know if it's still there, because this was maybe 3 to 4 years ago now, like maybe 3.5 years ago. But there was still a Paula Deen restaurant, and they were still selling Black American food in the Paula Deen restaurant in Tennessee. So yeah, I'm fine with her having a consequence. I feel like that's the problem now. No one has a consequence. They just running around just doing anything. So if this was her consequence, it is what it is. If people don't want to spend their money with her, if they feel offended, then don't spend it with her. I don't even believe that people are really canceled. I think what happens is people just decide that I don't like this person, so I'm not going to spend my money on what they have. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't support people that don't respect us or people who we don't like. We need to follow suit with a lot of other people. There's a list of them running around using that word, and they shouldn't be using it. But because they are not Southern, older white women, we let it slide. Like someone just said, Mark Wahlberg. It's not a problem. He's from New York. He doesn't have a Southern drawl. You know, it's if you really think about it, we've been giving passes to people all over playing with this word. We know the disrespect behind that word. We know the dehumanization behind that word. I understand a lot of younger Black people may not know that all people that are now considered Black were not called that word. I understand, because that hasn't been taught in the educational system. You really have to sit and talk to your elders, and they will tell you, no, Spanish people, African people, Jamaican people, they were called something different. We was called the N-word. They was Jamaican. They was Spanish. So, no, we need to be handing out the same consequences to a few more, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you spoke a word right there. I appreciate you, Savannah. Your thoughts?
So this is home for me. Um, I have been to Paula's restaurant even before the heyday, Lady and Sons in downtown Savannah. At that time, the food was good. The lines were out the door. I actually was there last year during the hurricane, and the restaurant was full as well because it was only one of the only businesses that were open and had power, and they were feeding people. This cancellation has always rubbed me the wrong way because I was very familiar with what Paula was doing in the community, uh, and because of how the lawsuit was brought was complete BS to begin with. The lady who brought the allegations was a Caucasian woman who worked at Paula's brother's restaurant, at Bubba's restaurant. It was a seafood restaurant, and she was overlooked for promotion and try to use uh, the discrimination against gender and race. And then she turned it into this whole thing that they were using racial slurs in there. Um, it was confirmed that they were not saying the N word. Bubba, I'm pretty sure that Bubba and Paula did admit to using the N word. What they were using was young male child. It starts with the letter B. That's what they were calling the staff, and that is a racial discriminated word, especially being in the South, as Katrina said. But it it is this, and my thing was that this is how that family, these Southern Caucasian folks, were raised. Like, that is embedded in their genes, in their blood system. That is what their grand folks taught them, and so on and so forth, was to use that the word of a young male child. But then when they had to, when Paula got involved, because it was her empire, um, and she had to do the disposition, and so she had to admit that she did use the N word, and that was the beginning of the downfall for her empire. The lawsuit was dismissed because the girl who brought the lawsuit, she didn't win anything because it was brought with malice, and it wasn't brought with any real intent to make a difference. And then the employees that were there, most of them were African American. They were not happy that the lawsuit came out, because now you're messing with their money and their livelihood. And exactly what happened is the restaurants closed. Lady and Sons just happened to close this summer. And plus the service and the quality of food went down. But that was her staple restaurant. It was a good restaurant when it was, before Paula Deen blew up and became Paula Deen, star of the Food Network. And it's unfortunate. Paula has done a lot of community service for women. She has a foundation, the Bag Women. The Bag Woman, where she has toiletries and things in bags for women. She's also does blessings in a book bag, and it's not just one. She does. I remember there was one where we gave out over 5,000 bags in one weekend. So, and that was before the scandal had came. So she was always in the community, had a good heart, very well loved. And I always hated that this took her down, because it really wasn't who she was. I only seen Bubba once or twice, but he's just a big old Southern country boy. That's the man. That's all I remember about Bubba. But Paula was a sweetheart, or is a sweetheart, and I hate that she was canceled in the manner that she was, because I agree with everything everyone has said. Especially, you know, Cardi B and all her behaviors and antics is just one of the few that is constantly praised and hyped for her behavior and use of the word. And I don't know anything that Cardi does in the community, honestly. So it's unfortunate. I'm glad that she's finally getting ready to tell her story, because it definitely deserves to be told.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of pieces of what everybody said. And Callie, I want to say this. I think we do play around with the word too much, and I don't use it either, unless I'm reading an article or explaining something. But I don't care which way you use the word. I think is degrading. And I do think that the Black race, we have this weird tendency to try to use things that traditionally has tore us down, and think if we use it, is now uplifting us. It just don't make sense to me. And there are other nationalities, races, whatever word you want to use, that they don't play them games at all. They don't use it against themselves. The derogatory words that are known that was used against them in the past, and they don't tolerate it or play with it when it's being used by anybody else. The amount of men that use it in the entertainment industry, in the videos, is disgraceful and disgusting. And then we wonder why, ladies, like, I don't know, this could be a whole nother conversation for another day, but I think it's seen too much. And I also want to say this, the amount of ladies now that are okay with being in abusive situations in the name of a dollar bill is bananas. And I know many people hate to say this. I got beat down over here with a stick, but sometimes I take the beat down for the greater good of putting the message out there. People are very sensitive about what happened to Cassie, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be, and I'm not saying that it wasn't wrong. But what I am saying is Cassie stayed for the dollar bill. Just like this Tyreek Hill's wife, she knew way before she even said I do to this man that the man has some violent tendencies. Allegedly, I gotta say, right? She knew what she was getting into, and her mama knew. But they was willing to take that chance for the almighty dollar. And I promise you, people, one day I'll do it for my members, like the members only. I'm gonna do a tour of my house. I promise you, my house is not that big at all. But I love my space. I can afford my space. I don't need to look for no man so he can help pay a bill for me to be in this space. Whatever you have, and I promise you, I'm telling you the truth, I don't care if it is a studio apartment. Make it your home. Be proud of it. Don't let nobody shame you. And if you can turn that key every day and you can pay for it yourself, you are straight winning. You're winning. Buy your shoes, buy your bags, buy whatever you want. But wherever you turn that key, be able to turn that key and not have to depend upon nobody else. One of the Jane Does in the Diddy case, he's paying for my lawyer. He's paying my bills. You know what? Judge Judy said it best the other day. When you can't pay for your own stuff, you are signing yourself up to be controlled. They're going to control you. You don't do XYZ, then I'm not paying your rent. You don't do XYZ, I'm not paying for your lawyer. Now I can sit over here and do whatever the heck I want, when I want, and how I want it, because I'm paying my own bills. You're going to sell yourself to the devil and you want to ask for a refund. But trust me, once you sell yourself to the devil, even if you get a refund, you are going to still feel empty. Now you got this man, baby. You're forever connected to him. Was the whatever you get at the end of the day, was it worth it? I don't need no money that bad. No, I do not. That I got to get slapped upside my head, bust upside my head. And see, the thing is, though, you taking a real chance because you don't know what bust up might be the end of your life. Now you have this woman right here. Come on, you 10 kids, 10 kids, 10 kids. He was having kids when she was getting married. I think 2 or 3 women came out and said he is the father. Come on now, that's ridiculous. Why would you? Why? For some money? It's ridiculous. Hey, Diane. I just ridiculous. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Where Fancy said I'm lost on the sympathy for racists because they're from the South. I don't think, listen, y'all. So sometimes I think when we the panel up here speak, I think when you hear our single, moment, because everybody on the panel, I need to give them a moment, right? They can't get every single last thought in their head out at the time. I don't think it's really sympathy for the racists, right? I don't really think that is what it's about. And I think, and I will say this too, y'all, and I'm about to close out. I will say this too. I don't know no person in this world that is not perfect, right? That is perfect, I mean. And I think there's things I've said and I'm like, oh God, I wish I didn't say that. I don't know if her whole overall being, because I don't know the woman, is that she is just racist. And I'll just leave that at that. I'm just going to move forward. And I will say this, no matter who you are, I just don't feel because of one moment in time, you should be canceled, because at any given time, that could be us. But listen, guys, I appreciate y'all being here for Trending Topics. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, do me a favor, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.